Monsanto, 7 evil facts and deadly GMO effects. If you like the video, please like, comment, and share it. To stay up to date with my latest videos, kindly subscribe if you have not done so yet. Monsanto Evil Empire is the name used to describe the corporation by most people in about 50 countries. For them, the company is the incarnation and plenitude of evilness. It means greed, sickness, death, and destruction of the planet. From Agent Orange to GMO grains, Monsanto is bad with a capital B. Let's consider the top 7 evil facts about Monsanto to find out why critics in over 50 countries describe it as the most evil corporation in the world. Number 7. Saccharin and PCB. At the beginning, the company produced Saccharin, which is sold to Coca-Cola as an artificial sweetener. Knowing that Saccharin is a poison, the government filed a lawsuit to stop its manufacturing, but lost in a court of appeal. That victory opened the door for Monsanto to produce more carcinogenic Saccharin to legally poison the world. That was just the beginning. Between the 1920s and 1930s, Monsanto extends its activities to industrial chemicals and drugs, becoming the world's largest manufacturer of aspirin, acetylsalicylic acid, and polychlorinated biphenyl, PCB, a very toxic liquid resistant to high temperatures and degradation. Although a known carcinogen, PCB is widely used as lubricants, hydraulic fluids, cutting oils, waterproof coatings, and sealants. PCB also found to severely damage the reproductive organs, immune system, liver, endocrine system, immune system, developmental system, skin, eyes, brain, as well as many other organs. In spite of the fact that polychlorinated biphenyl was finally banned after 50 years of life-threatening damages on human beings, the toxicity of the chemical still exists in the blood and cells of animals and humans across the world. After about 30 years of existence, Monsanto comes with its first hybrid maize seed and extending the manufacture of detergents, soaps, industrial cleaning products, plastics, and synthetic rubber. Number 6. Uranium and Agent Orange, Herbicide Orange. By the 1940s, the company began the production of uranium, which would be used for the first atomic bomb in the Manhattan Project, and dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing hundreds of thousands of Japanese, Korean, and American military, as well as poisoning millions of others. You may say the production of uranium was for war. It is therefore justifiable. Let's continue. The company relentlessly pursues its dark ambition by creating agricultural pesticides, which contain the deadly dioxin, source of poisoning of food and water tanks. From the 60s to the 70s, Monsanto, together with Dow Chemical, produced Agent Orange dioxin, one of the components used in the US invasion of Vietnam. The toxin causes contamination of more than 3 million people, death of 500,000 Vietnamese civilians, and birth defects of more than 500,000 Vietnamese babies, not including thousands of American veterans who suffer or die from its effects today. Number 5. Aspartame, the sweet killer. Monsanto partners with the German chemical industry IG Farben to use their common homicidal expertise to introduce on the food market another neurotoxic product called aspartame. To fool the masses, the company partnered with GD Searle LLC, published a series of misleading internal studies to falsely confirm aspartame is harmless, while research from the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, U.S. Agency for Food and Drug Administration, clearly reveals that aspartame causes tumors and large holes in the brains of rats before killing them. Today, numerous studies have shown that aspartame can lead to the development of more than 70 medical conditions, including cancer. According to the FDA, among the known effects of ingestion of aspartame include mania, rage, violence, blindness, joint pain, fatigue, weight gain, angina, coma, insomnia, drowsiness, depression, tinnitus, weakness, spasms, irritability, nausea, deafness, memory loss, skin rashes, dizziness, headache, stroke, anxiety, palpitations, fainting, cramps, diarrhea, panic, and oral inflammation. Triggered diseases include diabetes, multiple sclerosis, lupus, epilepsy, Parkinson's, tumors, miscarriages, infertility, fibromyalgia, infant death, and Alzheimer's. Number 4. Contamination of factory workers and people in surrounding areas. By 1990, Monsanto spends millions of dollars to defeat national and federal legislation that deny the evil company to continue producing and dumping diotoxins, pesticides, and other carcinogenic poisons in our drinking water supply. So far, they always come out victorious given there is so much corruption in the system. They are sued countless times to have sickened factory workers, inhabitants of the surrounding areas, and caused birth defects in babies. Doctors who examined 4 of the 224 most seriously injured men detected a strong odor coming out of them when they were all together in a closed room. "We believe these men are excreting a foreign chemical through their skins," stated one doctor. According to court documents that have surfaced in a West Virginia court case, Monsanto downplayed the impact, stating that the contaminant affecting the workers was slow-acting and causes only an irritation of the skin. In the meantime, the nitro plant continues producing herbicides, rubber products, and other toxic chemicals. Number 3. BGH and RBST. In 1994, the FDA had the courage to once again approve the latest monstrosity of Monsanto, the bovine somatotropin, also known as bovine somatotropin, BST and BST, and bovine growth hormone BGH, which can then be synthesized using recombinant DNA technology to create recombinant bovine somatotropin, RBST, recombinant bovine growth hormone, RBGH, or artificial growth hormone. Although the Food and Drug Administration and the National Institutes of Health of the United States claim its safety, RBST has been banned in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Israel, the European Union, and Argentina for its deadly effects. The chemical is injected into cows to increase their milk production. Of course, Monsanto claims that milk filled with the toxic hormone and antibiotics is not only healthy, but actually good for us. While it is shown the use of RBST increases health problems with cows, including mastitis. Worse, companies from dairy farms that refuse to inject their cows with the toxic bovine and label their products as growth hormone free are subject to persecution by Monsanto, saying it's an unfair competition with rivals who use it. 2. GMO seeds and bee apocalypse. In 1995, Monsanto began manufacturing genetically modified grains, corns, soybeans, rapeseeds, and Roundup-ready crops, RR crops, that they've had their DNA altered to allow them to withstand glyphosate herbicides, the active ingredient of Monsanto's herbicide Roundup, which causes many cancers, including brain cancer. In fact, California is in the process to vote a law to label the Monsanto's Roundup herbicides as cancer-causing chemicals. Canola oil, soybeans and soy products, corn, and BT cotton, all Roundup ready, begin to emerge on the market, advertised as healthier alternatives to their biological non-GMO competitors. Propaganda apparently worked because today more than 80% of the rapeseed market comes from their GMO variety. Some of the worst GMO foods and ingredients you should definitely avoid in your diet are soy, corn, wheat, and rapeseed, although you may hear many health experts claim that they are safe to consume. The bee apocalypse is another serious problem for humankind. As these GMO cereals were created to self-pollinate, it's like having sex with yourself to give birth. They don't need nature or bees for pollination. When bees are trying to pollinate a GMO plant or flower, they are poisoned and die. In fact, the collapse of bee colonies is documented and performed since the introduction of GMO grains by Monsanto. To counter the accusations that they have deliberately created the mass bee genocide around the globe, Monsanto bought Biologics, the largest research organization on bees that was dedicated to the study of the phenomenon of the collapsing of the bee colonies, and that openly accused Monsanto as the first culprit. Once they sold their conscience, their speech completely changed. Number 1. Merging and secret partnership. From 2000s to present day, Monsanto has controlled the largest share of the global seeds market. More than 80% of corn and more than 90% of soybeans grown each year in the US are produced by Monsanto. Worse, it seems authorities are on their side. The authorities of the US government spend millions on their side to support aerial application of Roundup, causing massive environmental devastation. Fish and animals die by the thousands in the days following the spraying, while the rates of respiratory diseases and cancer deaths are skyrocketing. Monsanto has merged with Pharmacia and Upjohn, and then separates them from its chemical company and reclassifies it Agricultural Society. In case you don't understand, a chemical company whose components have been devastating the environment, causing the loss of millions of lives for years, would have us believe today that it produces healthy and nutritious foods to safely feed people. It is extremely difficult to sell to people now, which is why they continue to grow through mergers and secret partnerships. With DuPont, however, merging is avoided. Instead, the two companies form a discreet partnership where one agrees to drop mutual lawsuits and start sharing GMO technology for mutual benefit. In short, they will be so powerful and politically connected that nothing can prevent them from owning a virtual monopoly on agriculture. As Henry Kissinger says, if you control the food supply, you control the people. But when it comes to Monsanto, it is fatally they control the people.